I'm not really into talking vehicle shows. To me, they never really seem like they come from any passion or vision other than pure marketing. There are a few exceptions to this, of course, like Thomas the Tank Engine and, Rory? I mean, I haven't seen that show in ages, but it uses stop motion, so there's some effort there. However, I've been recently watching a show which has the same producers of Thomas, and is actually considered its sister series called Tugs. Now, before I start talking about it, I want you to hear this theme song and be as shocked as I was when I first heard it.
This is Tugs.
It sounds like a flippin' love ballad. For something like this, I'd probably expect some upbeat 80s or maybe something alike to Thomas music. It has no right to be this good, and that just goes for the show as a whole. Let me explain. The series of Tugs takes place during the 1920s in the fictional location Big City Port. Our main characters are a fleet of talking tugboats called the Star Tugs, which consist of 10 Cents, the main character. He's young, hard-working and quick-witted.
Yeah, that's right. Big tugs only, 10 cents.
Make sure you don't bump into a warrior.
His voice is very familiar sounding. He sounds like he's 15 and it was really strange to hear at first, but it makes him stand out from a typical generic male protagonist voice that I hear everywhere.
Oh, it looks like a tin fish round you, Lily.
Very funny.
Sunshine, the newbie. He's the smallest but very kind and tries his best, and frankly, he's just plain adorable, especially with his little voice tics and whistling.
I was looking for 10 cents, sir. Well, we'll catch the thief tonight, with any luck.
Sunshine! Where are you?
Ah!
Big Mac, who despite his gruff exterior is really kind-hearted. He's quite the superstitious type and can get very defensive when people, or I guess boats, smack talk his friends. He's got a Scottish accent as well, which is always a plus.
Aye, could sink you. Logs don't care about no one. But useless, he's one of the best workers in the port. Just you remember that, Soren. I reckon this makes up for sinking my barge, warrior.
Warrior, the rather dense and more accident-prone one. Due to that, he can get on his peers' nerves.
Oh, no, not warrior. This is our post top hat. Oh, sorry, little fella.
Of all the tugs, I get the clumsiest.
It'd be great if you and I catch 'em.
But when he puts his mind to it, he can get his work done. And it's genuinely nice to see him succeed.
Thank you, sir. It's been a most enjoyable day.
OJ, the old Welsh tug with lots of experience and wisdom. He also has a keen eye and can tell when things aren't quite right.
I know just what to do, but we'll need to move fast and also be a bit brave. We should work together, not fight each other. Never fought when I was a young tug.
Wait a minute, O.J. Shrimpson? What is wrong with this
TV show.
Hercules, the laid-back and level-headed one, who handles the bigger jobs due to his large size. According to the wiki, he has a politically correct British accent. What the fuck?
It's a pity you won't be there.
I know. I really hate to disappoint the Duchess.
He does look cool, but he doesn't really have any major roles, which is a shame because it seems like there's more to him than meets the eye.
Well done, Zebedee, my dear. Come on, let's take him in.
And then there's the glorious Top Hat.
Oh, I say hello!
I think you can tell what his personality is just from these clips.
Sunshine! Only good for day workers here. You know, it never fails to amaze me. Every day I see something new. Today it's the sight of a floating sack of coal, no less.
Someone's having a dockside celebration.
No, no. If there was a party, I would have been invited. That's the destroyer warning us we're in the danger zone.
Ignore it.
And get a direct hit. No, thank you very much. That's real zero thinking, W.
Top Hat is obviously the best one, no contest, but I'm also very fond of 10 Cents and Sunshine, but they're all great.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
And despite how overtly British they all sound, the series takes place in America.
Morning, Jack. Nice day for garbage.
And then there's the rival team called the Z-Stacks, which is fitting since all of their names begin with the letter Z. Zip, Zug, Zoran, Zack and Zebedee. With them being the series antagonists and them being the self-proclaimed devious ones, they're usually the ones causing trouble for the Starfleet, stealing their workloads, sabotaging their jobs, or just being plain dickheads, mostly being led by Zoran.
Eat your heart out, Star Stacks. This trip's worth 20 garbage barges.
Never knew 10 cents is into daylight robbery, did you?
Get on with your work, or there'll be daylight robbery out of your pay packets. You South American heap of junk.
While the Z-Stacks do work within the show's narrative, they don't really stand out to me too much. I much prefer the Star Tugs character-wise. I do like Zip, however. He's not the most compelling character, but his denseness is really funny. And his voice being relatively normal sounding compared to the rest of the Z-Stacks helps with that as well.
No problem. That bunch of clapped-out sardine cans are going to find their Mr. Boat, or my name's not Zoran.
But it is Zoran, isn't it?
What kind of idiots do I have working for me?
Really devious. Shut it, Zip.
Sorry about that, sir.
We've got to help, he can't manage.
Apparently when his model was being built, it slipped off the workbench and got smashed, and the poor model makers had to spend an extra 2 weeks fixing him. Isn't that the Tugs equivalent of dropping your baby? No wonder he's so dense. And while I'm still on the topic with the Zeds, I find Zebedee a really great character, and the most interesting Z-Stack, but I'll get into that later. The two fleets mostly do jobs collecting barges, which are these raft looking thingies with items on them, hauling bigger ships and delivering stuff to potential contract payers. They take orders from the bosses Captain Star and Captain Zero, who are always off camera and talk through megaphones. In fact, this series never shows any humans on screen. Maybe it's to make the captains seem more mysterious with their omnipotent voices, but I think they just run out of money to make model humans, considering how expensive this show looks.
Good morning, Starfleet. Today I've chartered another switcher to help out with the extra work. He's from upriver.
Now, despite the obvious connections and similarities to Thomas and Friends, I think Tugs stands out on its own and has plenty of differences to its sister series. The main one being that the characters have individual voices rather than just the narrator speaking for them, and also its tone. Tugs is considered more mature and is aimed at an older demographic, which from my guess is the 8 to 12 range since it aired on CITV, or Children's ITV at the time. They talk about dodgy business ethics, like how in pretty much every episode the Z-Stacks are always trying to screw over the Starfleet to steal or ruin their jobs. A boat gets kidnapped and held ransom. And we can't forget the explosions. So many explosions. But let's get into some episode content. I'll start with the first one, Sunshine, which acts as this series' introductory episode for the main Tug fleets. It does an excellent job of introducing the characters. You can tell the dynamic in how they act just by hearing a single conversation with them. How sharp and determined Captain Star is, Top Hat's snottiness and 10 Cent's snappy remarks.
Might brighten you up a bit, Top Hat.
I resent that.
They're being offered their first big job of hauling the ship through the docks. However, 10 Cent is considered too small for the task, so he's asked to help bring in a new recruit, Sunshine.
Ah!
I love the dynamic between 10 Cent and Sunshine. Sunshine's like a small lost child, but he's so keen to get his work done. While 10 Cent is the more chill one. I find it so adorable.
And if we get a move on, we'll be finished in time to watch.
Yes, sir!
No, look, Sunshine. You only call a Captain Star, sir. I'm just 10 cents, okay?
Yes! Sure thing!
Of course, the Z-Stacks aren't happy that their rivals are getting such a big job, so they try to mess it up with the encouragement of the oh-so-subtle Captain Zero.
But what's devious?
What's devious is what's necessary to make an honest living in these days of corruption and bad business ethics.
Zoran shoves Paul Sunshine away while he's doing his first job, and leaves in shame. This makes the Starfleet look incompetent, so the Z-Stacks get the job instead. A lot of the Star Tugs are upset about this, and think Sunshine is unreliable. But 10 Cent feels bad for his new friend and tries to look for him.
Always playing Mr. Nice Guy. What a bore.
There's one line that Sunshine says that I find really interesting.
I'll never live this down. Just when I really had a chance. Oh, who's gonna want me now?
Does this imply that Sunshine has had other bad experiences with different kinds of Tug fleets, and worries that he won't fit in anywhere and no one will want him? Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it would be such an interesting take for his character. But anyway, after a bit of kerfuffle and finding out the truth and rescuing Sunshine, all's well that ends well, and we learn a lovely family-friendly lesson about not jumping to conclusions. How nice. But the Tug fleets aren't the only set of characters in this show. There's plenty of winners, like Grampus, who's this weird military submarine fish-looking thing with a lisp, but he has a heart of gold, always helping out the team and looking deeper into situations when something seems off. I especially like that episode where he was deemed worthless by the military, and was willingly allowing himself to be blown up to pieces. Wait, what?
They're going to blow me up today.
Huh?
Nah, look, he's fine. And now he's an honorary member of the Starfleet, and got bought by Captain Star. How nice.
They didn't blow me up today, so I'm one of you now.
Another prominent side character is this hillbilly alligator tug called Billy Shoepack. Some may call him eccentric. I say he's kind of fucking insane and should be put on a watch list considering how much explosives he has.
Delivering essentials like gasoline, ropes, fuses, and dynamite.
You're not unloading next to us, are you?
Afraid so, OJ. Don't worry, if it goes up, we all go up.
Yeah?
He's funny though, so I'll let it slide.
I've always wanted to blast someone.
There's a few other side characters as well. Lily Lightship, who has a very important job of using her giant light to guide ships through the fog at night. She looks very glamorous, and I wish she had a more prominent role in the show.
Bye, boys. Hope to see you soon.
There's Sally Seaplane and her weird lips. She doesn't really do much since she only appeared once. Big Mickey the Crane, who works alone but likes to cheer on the Star Tugs. And there's many minor talking barges, boats, or general sea things that I don't know the names of, that help make the series great. I forgot to mention Boomer, a tug with bad luck who thinks he's a nuisance. He gets sent off to never work as a tugboat again due to his fuck-ups. But he's reused as a houseboat at the end of his episode, and couldn't be any more happier about it.
Well, let's hope the jinx left you.
It's what it did to others that worried me the most. Thanks. Thanks, both of you. Thanks for everything.
Even though a fair few of them don't do much or have big roles, I find the cast very enjoyable with little issue. Well, except for this one guy. Izzy Gomez. His whole shtick is that he's always asking for a tug to tow him since he's too big to go on his own, but he's a total cheapskate and doesn't want to pay anything. On its own, I think that's a really funny concept, but he feels so stereotypical and they gave him such an annoying voice.
What I know, I sit around waiting for nobody to tell me. The Duchess, she come in this morning, suddenly everybody busy.
He definitely wouldn't fly today without a few changes.
Gringos, who needs them?
Oh, and there's Blue Nose as well. He's very rude and up his own arse, but I don't think anyone likes him, and that's the whole point.
Mobilisation, that is what I want, mobilisation!
Zed Stacks are bad enough, but Bluno, oh, he's something else.
With the show having great characters, it only makes sense that there'll be awesome moments where they get to shine. That, my friend, is Tug's secret weapon. Well, that and its special effects. For example, Warrior, a character that's clearly established to be the dumbass of the team. He's always in the daze, making mistakes, and they gave him a really obvious doofus voice. But in the episode titled after him, he gets a chance to finally prove himself as a worthy tug by saving the day despite all this.
Need a hand here, fellas. Warrior looks like he's got it under control.
Oh, I couldn't have lasted this long without him.
Top Hat, despite being perfect and flawless in every single way, has absolutely brilliant development in the episode High Tides. He starts out as his usual pompous self, playfully insulting the other tugs.
Garbage? Me? Do I have to put up with this?
I have to put up with you, Top Hat.
But after he gets lumped with a job put in rubbish, which he obviously detests, and some conflict arises with Zack and Zebedee after they destroy a bottom of a bridge, we get to see a different side of Top Hat, a more vulnerable yet heroic side.
The bridge. It's... Wait a minute. I've got it. If I can get that steel rig under the bridge, maybe it'll hold while the train gets across.
Also, can I just say how great the voice acting is as well? You can really hear the panic in Top Hat's voice and the genuine glee after he and Lord Stinker saved the day.
No, look out! It's work, Stinker, you're a smelly old genius, nothing less. I'll never complain about your smell again.
It's also the episode where we got this brilliant line.
That's real zero thinking, W.
Now, I mentioned earlier how I think Zebedee is a really interesting character. When I first watched this show, I thought of him as nothing but a typical Zed Stack, just another one of Zoran's lackeys. However, the episode High Winds changed that for me. This episode introduces a new antagonist, a rogue ship called Johnny Cuba, who has a not so pleasant past with Captain Zero, saying that he owes him. He has no hesitation and is instantly malicious when he's first on screen.
Sorry, mate. The wind must have blown me off course.
Zebedee unfortunately gets tangled up with him and is being blackmailed into helping him do illegal jobs.
No buts, Zebedee. I need a tow right now. The wind's making me angry. Too bad. Now I need coal right away, and be quick about it or I'll break your stick.
Despite Zebedee's stressful situation, he's surprisingly helpful towards his fellow boats when he's not doing Cuba's dirty work, like helping a Coast Guard police boat despite knowing there's a chance he'll be caught. And he even helped the Star Tugs push away a heavy ship in strong winds, while Zoran was watching, mind you, without any hesitation.
Zebedee going soft in the head or something?
Theodore will have my boiler for this.
Johnny eventually gets caught in the end by Hercules, and Zebedee stops him from escaping. Zebedee gets thanked by Tencent and Sunshine, and they offer him to leave the Z-Stacks to join the Star Tugs.
If you ever think of leaving the Z-Stacks...
What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Obviously he declines, but could this be the start of a potential redemption arc? Maybe if the series was allowed to continue, it would've. The idea of a former Z-Stack leaving his crew on his own volition to join his former rivals is super interesting. But as it is, it's left ambiguous. I do wonder what happened between Captain Zero and Johnny Cuba though.
Captain Zero's over the moon, now Johnny Cuba can't get at him.
What an amazing episode that shows that not everyone is as surface level as they seem. There's even a chance for the most brutal guy. What a really great series.
Oh no, Big Mickey's dock is going up.
Okay. I need to stop beating around the bush. I have to talk about that episode.
Emergency! Emergency! Clear the area immediately!
Hey, still!
Out of all of the questionable moments in this show, I think that this episode is the one that everyone agrees is the most fucked up, and I adore it. This episode basically consists of the mistakes of a lot of the Tugs, but mostly this prick, that causes a giant, almost uncontrollable sequence of fire and explosions galore. I mean, look at that.
I told you to move that!
Okay, now they're just showing off. I mostly just want to talk about the effects used here, because they're simply incredible. I can only imagine how dangerous it must have been to film all this. I mean, weren't they afraid that the fire would damage the boats? I also wonder how they pulled off the explosions on such a small scale. The real life sets on the models are quite small. The way the episode ends is really funny as well. Captain Star just casually says that you and your family will get destroyed if you mess around with fire so nonchalantly.
Always respect fire. If you don't, it will destroy you, your surroundings, and your friends.
I wonder how the episode would have ended off if Tencent didn't make it.
I've got to get out of here!
Tencent was obliterated during this momentous catastrophe, and if you're not careful, you'll end up just like him. Top Hat has great lines per usual. Imagine having the absolute gall to say this after a huge catastrophe.
Oh dear. Seems I'm too late to save the day.
And Blue Nose seems to get traumatized at the end of the episode, so it gets an A-star from me. Another episode that has messed up moments is Ghosts. I love the foggy atmosphere and the scared expressions and reactions of everyone, but a sequence where Sunshine and Tencent think they've seen the whole shipwreck with King Neptune has to be the best. I mean, there's that music, the lighting, the lightning, the whole feel, it's just spectacular. And again, the reaction from the characters is awesome in a messed up way.
I doubt you saw Neptune, Sunshine. He's for fairy tales.
I think that's enough talking about the show itself. Now I'd like to talk a bit about its production. Tugs was created by David Mitten and Robert D. Cardona. Like I said before, they were producers on the older episodes of Thomas. Production for the series started in 1987 and was filmed at Shepperton Studios. They would use actual model boats mounted on trolleys, moved by invisible strings, and they would use remote controls to move the eyes of the characters. The thing I find the most impressive, other than the explosions of course, is how everything was filmed on water. You'd think motor technology and water would be a bad idea, but they somehow managed to make it work. The show's production history is really something. There's a whole lot to get into, like the unused scripts and the changed run times, but this video is getting too long for my liking and I know there's people that know far more than I do on that, so I'll leave it there. Unfortunately, as you may already know, the series didn't last long and only got 13 episodes. A second series was planned, but the show's production and TV companies Clearwaters and Television South went bankrupt in the early 90s.
I say this is an outrage!
It's such a shame because I believe if Tugs was allowed to continue, it could have been a great success for both children and adults. Maybe it wouldn't have become the cultural icon that is Thomas, but it still could have made an impact. They clearly had high hopes for it as well, as lots of merchandise like toys, books and annuals were made. At least the show ended on a good note. The finale episode, Big City Freeze, ends with a really beautiful song.
Good night, Vienna.
Good night, Vienna.
But no matter how far away you are, know that I'm here to guide you home.
They were going to make a full version of it, but since the show got cancelled, it never got made. This show couldn't even get a DVD release either. There was an online campaign to get one made, and even David got on board, but he ended up backing out and the campaign ended in 2014. It doesn't help that no one knows who owns the rights to Tugs, since it's scattered between different holders. I mean, even Penny Crayon got a DVD. Penny Crayon!
Cheeky devil.
This show just can't catch a break, can it? I feel bad for David Mitten. This was meant to be his show, his chance to make something of his own after working on beloved properties like Thunderbirds and Thomas. At least with Robert Cardona, he got to make Theodore Tugboat for Canada, which was pretty successful. Unfortunately, David passed away in 2008, but his legacy will always be remembered. Well, that's it then. The show died and was never seen by the public after the reruns, right? Well, that's not entirely true. So, there's this weird cartoon that uses Tugs footage in some episode segments. I'm not going to go too much into detail here since other people have done it. I just want to talk about how weird this is. They completely redubbed the episodes and kidified it.
We were supposed to deliver that barge, that's what! Right, Zip?
Right as a rudder, Zuck!
No way!
Some of the characters even got their names changed, despite the fact that their names are clearly shown on their hulls. Zebedee is ZB and Big Mac is Big Stack, what?
But Steamer does have one pal, ZB.
I mean, look at this clip. It's astonishing.
Too bad. Now I need coal right away, and be quick about it or I'll break your stack.
You mean stealers?
Did I say steal?
I miss having friends.
Hey, I'm your friend.
I know. I mean, lots of friends.
Well, I'm sure the others would like you if they got to know you.
They gave Tugs a 4Kids anime dub. Unfucking believable. Anyway, despite all of the weirdly unfortunate things that happened to this series after its demise, I have to say I really enjoyed my journey watching the whole thing and finding out the weird trivia the show has to offer. And I bet you there's so much more out there that I don't know yet. It's clearly a well-beloved cult classic. It even has a dedicated fan base thanks to its connection with the ever-popular Thomas. And while unlikely, I'd love for the show to get rebooted and have the continuation it deserves. Some people think the show wouldn't work today, but I disagree. They just need to get the right people. They could use the models again, or they could go fully animated with CG. Yeah, I know some people would hate that, but I wouldn't mind as long as it looks well done. TV 3D animation has progressed a lot since the 2000s. But whether if they use models or switch to animation, what matters the most is the writing. That and impeccable top hat quotes.
Anyone going to move? I'm not going to move.
Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know some other people have already talked about this series, but I just found it so fascinating I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching.